Evening and welcome, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to the regular city council meeting. The date is August 20th and the time is 6 p.m. Let's please start out with the roll call. Aubriana?
Bates,
Here.
Mangum,
Here.
Nichols, Paulson,
Here.
Satterfield,
Here.
Swanson,
Here.
Dahlquist.
Here. And if you would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd remain standing after the pledge, we will have the invocation offered by Tony Cycle, representing Portneuf-Sanka. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I invite you to close your eyes as we bring our attention to our breath and body. Standing here, recognizing our breath, this present moment, and recognizing that we are in the present moment. This moment is precious because it gives us the opportunity to make skillful choices for the future based on our highest aspirations. We give thanks for this precious body and precious human life. We reaffirm our desire to serve our fellow human beings. May all of us in this meeting continue to hold this strong intention to serve others, to be a bridge for those with rivers to cross, a ship for those with oceans to cross, a shelter for the homeless, a safe refuge for those in danger, and a hand of hope for those who feel no hope. May our health continue to support our efforts. May we welcome adversity as readily as success. May all of us be free from suffering. May we live with ease of being. May all those suffering in war and oppression find peace, and those grieving find solace, and those who are ill have compassionate treatment and health. May all beings, without exception, be free from enmity, danger, hatred, and despair. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May our efforts here today benefit all of the citizens of Pocatello. I'd like to close this meditation again with a quote from the Buddha. The dedication of a virtuous act for all beings is like adding a drop of water to the ocean. As long as the ocean exists, the drop of water exists. So too, a small positive action, when directed toward the benefit of all beings, will endure forever. I invite you to open your eyes now so that you can begin your important work on behalf of the people of Pocatello. Mayor Dahlquist and members of council, thank you for your continued service to the people of Pocatello.
Thank you very much, Tony. Agenda item 3 is the consent agenda. The following business items may be approved by one motion and a vote. If any one member of the council so desires, any matter listed can be moved to a separate agenda item. A, minutes. Council may wish to waive the oral reading of the minutes and approve the minutes from the following meetings. Clarification and regular city council meetings of June 4 and June 18, 2026, and city council budget development meetings of June 1 and June 2, 2026. B, material claims. Council may wish to approve the material claims for the period of August 1 through August 15, 2026. C, treasurer's report. Council may wish to approve the treasurer's report for June 2026, showing cash and investments as of June 30, 2026. D, city council decision, short plat approval for HAC subdivision. Council may wish to adopt its decision approving the short plat for the HAC subdivision, which subdivides approximately 9.11 acres of parcel RPCPP 1388512 into 4 lots subject to conditions. E, city council decision, short plat approval for Grayside subdivision. Council may wish to adopt its decision approving the short plat for Grayside subdivision, which subdivides approximately 0.70 acres of parcel into 3 lots, subject to conditions. And at this time, I'd ask our CFO, Rich Morgan, to come forward and present the treasurer's report.
Mayor and council, thank you for this opportunity. A couple of things. I'll first present the report, what you're used to, and then I'd like to show you at the end how to get into OpenGov. And if anyone's watching, they'll be able to see that and how it goes. All right. Well, maybe we'll just go from here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just remind you that it's Idaho code that gets us here. So, and also always will remind you, this is the official report. If someone asks for the report, that's what they're going to get, not my presentation. But sometimes the analysis is helpful in what we're doing. We begin with 111, almost $112 million. Our receipts were 15.5 million. Disbursements this month of June were 18.5 million. We ended with about 109. So the net change was about 3 million. Again, I just listed the differences for those operating funds that we have. And then this is our cash balance. I did want to go over this just so you know how that works again, and hopefully you're getting familiar as we go through this. So U.S. Bank, we have about $24 million sitting right now in U.S. Bank. That's because in July we did, this is representative of 817. The percentages we go through are through June, but this represents that second payment of property tax on the remittance that we get. We estimate our payroll, accounts payable, we do have outstanding checks, and so the available from that 24 million is about 14.5. We have 15 million in the LGIP. That's the local government investment pool. It's run by the state. Most municipalities do park extra cash with the LGIP. It's very safe. And we also finished implementing our investment strategy with Clearwater. That's the 80 million. You can see that we have accrued about $746,000 of interest so far. That's a really good thing. We're excited about the opportunities we have there with Clearwater. Really quick, we're 83% of the year through. 2 more months to go. Citywide, this does reflect the last budget amendment. I've updated for those. So the budget was 154 million. We've collected 124. You can see the general street, recreation, sanitation, water, and WPC numbers. We're all in the sweet spot. It's really nice. Sanitation is a little bit high. They did receive some reimbursement monies that I just heard of. That's why they're a little bit high on the revenue side. They probably will go over the 100% because of that, which is great. Summary of our expenses, again, we're 83% through the year. 174 million in the budget. We've spent 116, so we're 66% through. Remember, this is our busy time. If you look at the general fund or sanitation, those are pretty steady, regular expenses. They're in that sweet spot. If you look at water, you might think, well, it's a little low, but remember, those are cyclical, and water will catch up in the summertime. So then you want to look at, or you can look at, you want to make sure that your revenues are matching or exceeding your expenses. That's what this one does for you. We have 150 million budgeted revenues, and we're at 76% on our expenses. Again, 83% through the year. So a nice sweet spot to be in. It all looks really good. I didn't have any concerns or anything that I wanted to point out in the way of concerns, just that this seems to be reassuring. We've got a good thing going here. We've got great management, and that's what it is. We've got good departments doing what they need to do with what they've got. I did include the financial performance metrics. You can look over those if you have any questions. We've gone over them. They didn't change a whole lot. It's all the same. I think it'll be really interesting as we go forward. We can peg these for fiscal year 26 and then start comparing our fiscal year 27 to them, and I think that'll be a good discussion to have. All right. So, I wanted to really quick, I just wanted to take a minute. If you go to our website, looks like it's already up. But if you're on Google or any other like Duck, whatever, you just type in City of Pocatello, it'll take you to the website. There's two ways to do this. You can scroll down and you'll see Pocatello News, the calendar, and then you see Pocatello Spotlights. And under Stay Informed, we've put a connection here that says View Proposed Budget. If you click there, it takes you to the dashboard. And I wanted to point out that we're no longer, this is OpenGov. You can see up there in that line. It looks like Pocatello. We've paid for this branding. We want them to recognize us, so it looks like Pocatello, but this is OpenGov. You can go to the table of contents, which is look up every department. You can drill down into those departments. You can see their line items. This is the budget overview. Kind of gives our philosophy, what's going on. That is not the one I was thinking, sorry. There we go. It's got a beautiful picture of downtown, beautiful picture of the council, mayor, kind of gives our philosophy. This is the dashboard that the public would see, and they can go into those departments and drill down. You can also get there, just really quick, if you go back and someone's on our main page, instead of scrolling through, how do I get home? Oh, there we go. Forgot where I was. If you're on your main page, if you go to government, you go to finance, and you drill down. Budget and fees. You click on the budget and fees. You'll see this budget fiscal year 2027, the proposed. If you click on that, again, it'll take you to that OpenGov link. So you'll see what's in OpenGov. I did want to point out to the council that if you start at Google and type in OpenGov, this is something for the council, and you have all received a login, and you go to government login, you type in your email address, hit continue your password, and that'll take you to OpenGov too. It does look a little different, but it's all the same information. You can drill down in there. You could play with the information there, and that's something that we've provided as council members to get into actual OpenGov instead of just that dashboard. So, all right, I think that's all I have.
Yeah, great. I just encourage members of the public to take a look at this, and council members as well to go into that too. But I think it's a big upgrade, and compliment your staff, Rich, for spending so much time converting this over. I think it is a tool that just makes things so much more transparent.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would move that we approve the consent agenda, agenda item 3, items A, B, C, D, and E as outlined.
Second.
Thank you. We have a first from Councilman Mangum, a second from Councilman Paulson. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Mangum,
Yes.
Paulson,
Yes.
Bates,
Yes.
Satterfield,
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
Agenda item 6 is items from the audience. This time has been set aside to hear items from the audience not listed on the agenda. Items which appeared somewhere else on the agenda will not be discussed at this time. The council is not allowed to take any official action at this meeting on matters brought forward under this agenda item. Items will either be referred to the appropriate staff or scheduled on a subsequent agenda. You must sign in at the start of the meeting in order to be recognized. And please note you have a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. With that, we've had 2 people sign in this evening. Stephen, if you'd like to come forward and you'd like to talk about a flock public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. In the course of human events, of our forefathers made a voyage to this land to seek freedoms that they did not have the privilege of in their prior homeland. They sought the freedom to be a free people, freedom of worship, freedom of taxation without representation, along with other freedoms that were granted in the Bill of Rights of the Constitution of the United States. One of their most prized freedoms that they dealt with is they wanted freedom from a tyrannical government who once would invade their person's home's papers and effects without reasonable lawful causes and without lawful warrants to search their possessions. Their intent of the Bill of Rights was to protect a good people from tyranny. The Fourth Amendment is timeless. We should not be confused with past Supreme Court cases that do not directly relate to the ALPRs now in questions. When lawful people are indiscriminately tracked from point to point to point, and their travels are logged, then they have lost their right as a free and lawful people to travel without encumbrances or concerns. Security in how the information is stored and access has been a historic issue, including how free access is allowed by flock safety to use at will in contract sections identified as 4.2 and 5.3. We, the people, must be entered into the scope of how our government runs its business for protection. $120,000 a year is being spent on questionable technology when it could be spent on officers who could act in a legal and lawful manner. Benjamin Franklin once said, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." In the spirit of liberty and representation from our taxation, we, the people, ask that a public hearing be held on flock safety camera and the subsequent contract considerations before any future related contracts are considered. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. Next, we have David Pearson. He's here to discuss Highline and Pearl intersection.
Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to express my concerns. I live on Willard Avenue between Griffin and Pearl. My backyard is the construction site that's going on right now. They got it detoured right now that is actually going right in down my street. My concerns is with all this additional traffic that is going down Willard and the school district as schools are opening up, I've got real strong concerns of safety. I see the kids going up and down. I see parents and they're traveling, dropping their kids off, and kids are running down the street, down the sidewalks. And, kids sometimes don't have the best judgment. And I would really appreciate it if we actually have a police presence there during the time in the mornings and at noon and when the school's out. And just to have them there, they do a good job on Griffin and Willard. The school district does by having traffic, somebody guiding, the parents and the kids and stopping the traffic. My concern is Pearl. Well, right now I get honked at and some gestures thrown at my way just because I'm trying to turn and pull into my driveway. I'm concerned, and I just would appreciate to look at this and give some kind of forethought. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, David. Really appreciate you bringing us up to speed with that. I'll have a conversation with our police and we'll see what we can do there. Thank you. I have to circle back a little bit on the agenda. The agenda item number 4, there's no proclamations this evening, so we'll jump to agenda item 5. Sorry, a little bit out of order. But on the calendar review, council meetings, September 3rd at 5:30 p.m., we do have the council clarification meeting. Then at 6 p.m. is the regular city council meeting. September 10th at 9 a.m. is the city council work session. Other events are as follows. August 23rd, Ross Park Aquatic Center, believe it or not, that's the last day of the season. August 24th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., Welcome Back Orange and Black event for ISU students at Lookout Point in historic downtown. Then from August 24th to September 7th, annual maintenance for Community Recreation Center. The front desk will remain open, but all other areas will be closed for maintenance. August 29th, it's the annual Portneuf River cleanup from 10 a.m. to noon. Meet at the Pacific Recycling Trailhead. Bring work gloves and other tools to help clean the river of trash and debris. Contact the Science and Environment Division for more information. I'll be at that event and I hope to see you all there. Open burn ban in the Wildland Urban Interface area, that continues. And then due to the extreme heat we're experiencing, the following city facilities will serve as cooling shelters through the end of August. Hours are at City Hall, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays here at City Hall, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. The animal shelter is another site. That's from Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Closed Sundays. Pets are welcome at that location. Then there's the Marshall Public Library. Hours there are Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and closed on Sundays. Schools will be starting soon. Please slow down in school zones, and I think David would especially appreciate that. Looking ahead, September 7th, city offices will be closed for Labor Day. However, garbage, yard waste, and recycle pickups will continue as scheduled.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
may I add one thing?
you sure may.
Yeah, this evening at Jim Dandy, there's a fundraiser for the Pocatello Free Clinic. I'm going to run over and bid on a few things. So I'd encourage you to, if you can, support this really essential service here in our city. Thank you.
Great cause. Thanks for pointing that out. Okay, agenda item 7, that's a resolution expressing opposition to M44 cyanide devices. Council may wish to adopt a resolution expressing formal opposition to any continued assembly, manufacture, and distribution of M44 cyanide devices within the municipal limits of the city of Pocatello. With that, we do have members of the Mansfield family here tonight, and they're going to come forward and talk about that. If you could each introduce yourselves, if you would.
Yeah, I got a speech.
Yeah.
Mayor Dahlquist and members of the City Council, thank you for the opportunity to speak before you today. My name is Canyon Mansfield, and alongside me are my parents, Teresa and Mark. As many of you may know, 9 years ago, I was the boy who triggered an M44 cyanide bomb that poisoned me and killed my 2-year-old lab, Casey. We are here to support the City of Pocatello's proposed resolution against the supply of M44 cyanide devices from our city, in the hope that it marks the beginning of the end of their distribution from Pocatello. There's a cruel, tragic irony in the fact that the very device that poisoned me and forced me to witness my dog's death was manufactured and built only miles from my home, in my city that used to feel so familiar. Stranger still, that depot responsible was the sole supplier for the entire United States. My sense of sanctuary was shattered, and my safe hometown became just an illusion of the past. Perhaps it was predictable, or rather tragically unsurprising, that the supplier manufacturing these poisonous devices posed the greatest danger to the residents nearby, eventually being triggered by the innocent curiosity of a 14-year-old boy. Their building is deliberately inconspicuous, located merely blocks away from ISU, and continues to threaten our community in silence. However, despite the bitterness that still grips me when I happen near it, I still hold much faith for my city. Faith that my family's suffering wasn't in vain. Faith that Casey's death would enact change. The faith that you, who have been entrusted to lead, bear our community's best interest in mind. And so I have come here, guided by this sense of faith, to stand here and ask that when you cast your vote, you prove this faith right. Thank you.
Thanks, Kenyon.
These devices pose a very serious and unacceptable threat to public safety, and I urge your continued leadership in opposing them. In 2017, when I moved to Pocatello, I always loved Pocatello, and I always said we live in the greatest place on earth. But in 2017, when this happened, I received that same love from our community, from this city, and it changed me forever. This community has rallied around this issue. For the past 9 years, my family and I have advocated for an end to the use of a deadly wildlife poison, the M44 cyanide ejector, that killed our family dog and nearly killed my son. In a single moment, this M44 cyanide bomb set by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Wildlife Services program stole a cherished member of my family, an irreplaceable piece of my son's innocence and our entire Pocatello community's sense of security. To Wildlife Services Animal Damage Control, our beloved dog was just a non-target take, and our heartbreak merely a public relations problem. Rather than evaluating how communities like Pocatello could be made safer so that other families would not have to suffer the painful aftermath of M44 cyanide bombs, the federal agency continues to make unsupported claims about the need for every tool in the toolbox to be made available, and supposedly the targeted nature of M44 cyanide bombs. But no tool can indiscriminately poison a child, kill a family pet, and devastate a family belong in a toolbox. No tool like that belongs in a toolbox. A device that cannot distinguish between its intended target and a child or a dog cannot reasonably be called targeted. Again, this is fundamentally a public safety issue. Although Canyon's story received worldwide attention, it was a local reporter, Shelby Harris, who discovered that these devices are manufactured right here in Pocatello. The Pocatello Supply Depot is the sole manufacturer and distributor of the M44 devices and sodium cyanide capsules for the entire United States. As Canyon said, there's a painful irony in that. The device that nearly killed my son just outside my Pocatello home was manufactured here in our town, in our community. But perhaps that gives Pocatello a unique responsibility and an opportunity to lead. It makes me feel like we're meant to do it. We're meant to do something. Cyanide bombs endanger people, pets, and wildlife. And they have no place in our city, on our lands, or anywhere. Indeed, we must ask ourselves how many families must be harmed before meaningful action is taken. How much collateral damage are we willing to accept when it comes to efforts to kill so-called nuisance animals? Should hikers, hunters, children, and families of Pocatello have to fear encountering a cyanide device while they're out enjoying our community and our public lands? Is it going to take the death of a child to ban this antiquated, indiscriminate device? Wildlife Services has been afforded countless opportunities to rein in its own deadly practices, yet the public has not been made any safer. It's clear that legislative intervention is necessary, as the cyanide bombs are coming back to our lands right now as we speak. This is why this resolution carries such a great weight. I'm powerless to change what happened to my son, but this resolution is meaningful. Speaking for the Mansfield family, I would like to thank Mayor Dahlquist and the members of the Pocatello City Council for standing with our family and our community. I would like to encourage solidarity with a unanimous vote in passing this resolution and for support of Canyon's Law. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, the fight isn't over. I mean, we think we won one battle and then it's reversed, and if we can just chip away, and especially if our community stands up and says, you know, we don't want these devices made in our downtown, pretty much. You know, it's close to where my kids did gymnastics. It's not far from Ross Park Drive-In, where we have taco spaghetti and milkshakes and the zoo, and like Kenyon said, you don't even know it's there. I had no idea it even existed. I happened to find it because we went to St. Vincent de Paul, or I can't remember how, but it's hidden, you know? And so I feel like this is just, the fight isn't over, and if we can just chip away, then it shows a lot. It shows a lot for our community too, and how strong we are.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing the story and your initiatives. And I know the last several years have been real trying, but you've been an advocate and hung in there. And I know you've talked to lots of folks, including our legislative federal officials. So thank you for your advocacy.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
and with that, any discussion, or I would entertain a motion if not.
Mayor,
Yes.
I would move to approve agenda item number 7, the resolution expressing opposition to M44 cyanide devices as outlined.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We have a first from Councilman Paulson, a second from Councilwoman Swanson. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Paulson?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Bingham?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Okay, with that, motion passes. Congratulations.
Thank
We'll
you.
get the
Thank
resolution
you.
signed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item 8 is short plat application, Trailside subdivision. Council may wish to approve a short plat application by NeighborWorks Pocatello, mailing address 206 North Arthur Avenue in Pocatello, to subdivide 19.06 acres, more or less, of city-owned land into 3 lots located near the intersection of Foothill Boulevard and Gaithy Drive. The plat will be known as Trailside subdivision. Staff recommends approval of the request with conditions.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
as I'm on the board of directors for NeighborWorks Pocatello, I will recuse myself from the vote and deliberation of this agenda item.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move that we approve agenda item number 8, the short plat application for Trailside subdivision as outlined.
Thank you. Okay, we have a first from Councilwoman Swanson, the second from Councilman Paulson. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Swanson?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Bingham? Oh, sorry, Satterfield?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item number 9 is short plat application for the Ridges at High Terrace. Council may wish to approve a short plat application by Bill Isley and Calvin Rock, represented by Logan Mitchell of Sunrise Engineering, to subdivide 2.84 acres, more or less, of the following parcels into 2 lots. I won't read the parcel numbers, they're on the agenda. The lots are currently vacant and were originally platted with the ridges at High Terrace Subdivision, Division 1.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would move to approve the short plat application, agenda item number 9 for the ridges at High Terrace 1A as outlined.
Second.
Thank you. We have a first from Councilman Mangum, a second from Councilwoman Swanson. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Mangum?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Agenda item 10, short plat application, Syringa Networks. Council may wish to approve a short plat application by Syringa Networks LLC, represented by Wyatt Radke of A&E Engineering, to replat lots 4 through 8 and the north 24 feet of Lot 9, Block 453 of Pocatello Town Site into 2 lots. The parcels are located at 233 North Main Street. Staff finds the application is compliant with Pocatello City Code with conditions.
Mayor,
Yes.
I would move to approve the short plat application for Syringa Networks as outlined in agenda item 10.
Second.
Thank you. We have a first from Councilman Mangum, a second from Councilwoman Satterfield. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Mangum?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Agenda item 11, final plat application for the Crossings Townhomes. Council may wish to approve a final plat application submitted by Troy Allen Builders and K Holdings, represented by Tyson Allen, to replat Lot 2, Block 1, the Crossings Division 1, amended into 65 lots. The plat proposes development of 64 zero-lot line townhouses in 5 groups and 1 common lot. Common area will consist of private drives and common area as outlined in the planned unit development approved on April 2nd of 2026.
Mr. Mayor, I
Yes.
have a question for staff.
Okay, Becky?
Becky, is this,
Planning manager.
is this the townhouse proposal that is located off of Pocatello Creek Road?
No, this is, it runs parallel to Venture Way and in between Wayfair and Venture and ends at Paradigm and
Oh, in the
creates
North
those,
Gate
yes, in the
area.
North
Okay,
Gate
thank
area.
you.
Okay, anything else for Becky?
Yeah, real quick.
Okay,
When I
please.
was looking at this, do you know how many like parking spots are for per unit?
They we've discussed that pretty at length. They will each have driveways and feel that they'll have adequate parking to meet all the parking criteria, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thanks, Becky. Okay,
Mr. Mayor.
all right, I think I heard Swanson first.
Either way.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve agenda item number 11, final plat application, the Crossings Townhomes as outlined.
Second.
All right, thank you. We have a first from Councilwoman Swanson, a second from Councilman Mangum. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Swanson?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Satterfield? Yes.
Agenda item 12 is the final plat application for Creekside Cove. Council may wish to approve a final plat application by Jonathan Hunt, represented by Gardner Francis, to plat Phase 1 of the Creekside Cove subdivision. The plat proposes development of 11 zero-lot line townhouses in 2 groups of 5 and 1 common lot. Common areas will consist of the private drives and common area as outlined in the PUD approved May 21st, 2026.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
I would move to approve the final plat application for Creekside Cove as outlined in agenda item 12.
Second.
Okay, we have a first from Councilman Mangum, a second from Councilwoman Satterfield. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Mangum?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Moving right along, our planning department's been busy. We have final plat application for the Ridges at High Terrace Division 2. Council may wish to approve a final plat application by Trite LLC, represented by Sunrise Engineering, to plat 9.12 acres, more or less, into 14 lots. Staff finds the final plat is in substantial conformance with the preliminary plat and recommends approval with the Planning and Zoning Commission findings of fact and decision. The property is located north of East Center Street and southeast of Vista Drive and will be known as the Ridges at High Terrace Division 2.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
move to approve agenda item number 13, final plat application for the Ridges at High Terrace Division 2.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, was that Mangum?
Yes.
Okay, all right, we have a first from Councilwoman Swanson, a second from Councilman Mangum. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Swanson,
Yes.
Mangum,
Yes.
Bates,
Yes.
Paulson,
Yes.
Satterfield.
Yes.
Agenda item 14, grant application, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, FY26 Lead Hazard Reduction Program. Council may wish to approve a grant application for the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development FY26 Lead Hazard Reduction Grant Program for a total project cost of $3,762,724 and is awarded, if awarded, authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review. The total grant funding would be $3,489,692, and it requires a 10% match, which totals $273,032, to be funded by the Community Development Block Grant.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'd like to hear from staff on the significance of this program that it's played thus far on our community.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. Christine Howe, Grants Manager with the City of Pocatello. So the city has been fortunate to receive the Lead Hazard Reduction Grant in 2 funding cycles through HUD, through FY17 and FY21. Our latest grant, the FY21 one, is in closeout right now, so a lot of the data is fresh in my mind as I'm completing that closeout report. Through that program, we were able to fund about $2.7 million worth of investment into our community through property rehab work, specifically mitigating lead-based paint hazards, and then also doing what we call healthy home supplemental funding work, which is where we address home health hazards such as out-of-code electrical, weatherization issues by replacing windows, remediating mold, asbestos, radon, all those kind of concerns in those homes. So through our latest grant, we were able to help 48 units, and that included 28 single-family residences, and the remaining were rental units. So they see a lot of return in investment there where, you know, families, as they're able to live in the home, it can protect those children under 6 from lead-based paint hazards. And then with our rentals, where there's even greater turnover of residents typically, it makes sure that those families moving in there, those kids are safe and they're living in good conditions. So through this grant, we're hoping to help 75 homes. That's our plan for the 4-year period of performance. We invest roughly around $20,000 in the lead work and between $10,000 to $20,000 in the healthy homes work typically, but sometimes it's even greater than that. It could be $30,000 worth of work or more just because of the hazards that are in those homes. It allows us to retain our older housing stock and keep it affordable for our low and moderate income residents. And sometimes folks are shocked to learn of what those income categories look like. So roughly for a family of 4 or 5, you could be earning about $80,000 per year and still qualify for the program. So sometimes we say low income, but it's a lot of our middle class and working professionals here in the city. And so if we get the grant, I'd encourage folks to look into the program, and we can also leverage our CDBG dollars to really stretch it further with just that 10% match. So it's a huge investment for us, and it's been a great program.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
With that, Mr. Mayor, I would move that we approve grant application, U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, as our lead hazard reduction program as outlined in agenda item 14.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We have a first from Councilman Mangum and a second from Councilman Paulson. And before we call the roll, just want to say I'm proud of our staff for putting these together. And we talk about affordable housing a lot in the community. And I think what people often forget is the existing older, smaller homes in Pocatello. That really is our affordable housing stock in many ways. And with what our CDBG staff is doing and some of our nonprofit partners, we've really got it going on in Pocatello with programs that preserve the existing housing stock for low-income residents. So I just want to say that just because, as I said, that a lot of people do think that affordable housing is just constructing new, but we've got to preserve the housing stock we have, and I think we do a really good job at that. So with that, Brianna, if you'd call the roll.
Mangum,
Yes.
Paulson,
Yes.
Bates,
Yes.
Satterfield,
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
Okay, agenda item 15, grant application, U.S. Department of Justice FY26 Bridging Immigration-Related Deficits Experience Nationwide Program Round 2. Council may wish to approve a grant application for the U.S. DOJ FY26 Bridging Immigration-Related Deficits Experience Nationwide Program Round 2 for Pocatello Police Department Radio and Communications for the purpose of radio and communication equipment with a total project cost of $2,225,237, and if awarded, authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents, subject to legal department review. And I believe we did want staff to come up and give us a summary.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. Christine Howe, Grants Manager. As noted in the agenda item, this application is primarily for radio and communications equipment for the police department. As these grant opportunities arise, different departments will reach out to see if there's a chance for us to apply, and the police department forwarded this one to me in the hopes of getting this to replace outdated equipment that they utilize for their portable radios, their body cams, the accompanying software, and that same installation in the vehicles. And so this program afforded us with an opportunity to apply to get those technology upgrades. So we're applying under the grant category of technology and equipment, and meeting some of the objectives of DOJ to help with continued investigations and the work that the police department does on in collaboration with Homeland Security task forces, our regional groups, our regional task forces, primarily to address their ability to conduct their work with prosecuting, detaining criminals, drug trafficking, things that our street crimes and narcotics units currently do. So, we're always on the lookout for potential grants to support needs for departments. In this case, this is a no-match grant that would fund all that equipment purchase, so that we wouldn't have to pull it out of either department-specific lines or general fund. So.
Question. So it mentions immigration here. In what way are we beholden to anything related to immigration or immigration enforcement by taking this, using this grant if we get it?
No, it wouldn't adjust any current operations by the police department. So where they would already collaborate or work with those agencies that do immigration-related work, it wouldn't change anything in that way. There are other provisions in the grant where you can do more specific things related to immigration enforcement, such as creating detention facilities, but we're not applying under that. So we already participate in support groups that deal with more regional issues or things of that nature. And so it wouldn't change any current operations that the police department does. And we did get letters of support from our collaborating agencies that we work with already on those specific task forces and for those specific types of encounters. So it wouldn't change any current operations or require us to increase anything or make changes to that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Christine, this may be a question better for the police department. I'm just wondering, so we've got 110 radios, 110 body cameras, and 60 in-car and mobile units. I just want to make sure, would this grant replace all equipment? And is there any additional equipment that would be coming through this grant, or is it just replacing aging equipment?
Sure, I'll let the chief respond to that.
Chief Shy, Pocatello Police, the answer is yes. It would replace everything that we need, and including 5 years of service for the back-end client for the new equipment.
So that's talking about the software.
Correct.
And I was wondering, I just wanted to make sure, with Idaho moving with the next gen 911, would these systems be affected by that in any way, or is this separate?
No, the next gen 911 stuff is more dispatch related and dispatch equipment, and that is generally taken care of by the 911 funds. The portable radios, from talking with Adam McKinney, we cannot use 911 funds for that. So this grant would be targeted for that needed equipment for all of our patrol vehicles, all of our officers, our ordnance officers, and the new body cameras.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
One more question,
Sure.
probably for Christine. Okay. What would be the timeline of this? Do you know when we might, if we win the grant, when we might receive those monies, what budget year that would fall in?
Sure, they're doing this on a rolling basis, which is why this is round 2. So they're anticipating awards within a month of the application submission. And then we would enter into a grant agreement and execute everything. I put in a approximate 3-year period of performance to account for that, signing the contracts, bidding out for the equipment, getting that all on board and installed, and then any follow-up kind of troubleshooting or training. But we would be able to, essentially, as soon as we have that grant agreement signed, go out to bid or, go through the proper procurement. We received an estimate, which was the basis for this, so we're hoping to do the work as close to that estimate as possible so the price doesn't increase. But I think Chief's ready to go as soon as we have the funding approved by the agency.
Okay, so that could be fiscal year 27.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I would move to approve the grant application outlined in agenda item number 15 and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review.
Second.
Thank you. We have a first from Councilman Bates and a second from Councilwoman Swanson. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Bates?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Agenda item 16, collective bargaining agreement, police union. Council may wish to approve adoption of the fiscal year 2027 to 2030 collective bargaining agreement for the Fraternal Order of Police, Portneuf Valley Fraternal Order of Police, Local Lodge Number 13, and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents, subject to legal department review.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would move to approve the collective bargaining agreement for the police union as outlined in agenda item 16.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We have a first from Councilman Mangum and a second from Councilwoman Swanson. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Mangum?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Agenda item 17, proposal acceptance contract award for the Title 17 rewrite, Town Planning and Urban Design Collaborative LLC. Council may wish to approve the following requests for the Title 17 zoning code rewrite and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents, subject to legal department review. A, accept the highest rated proposal for the Title 17 zoning code rewrite, RFP, to Town Planning and Urban Design Collaborative LLC. And if approved, B, authorize a contract between the City of Pocatello and Town Planning and Urban Design Collaborative LLC for the Title 17 zoning code rewrite. The City of Pocatello conducted a request for proposals for the rewrite of the Title 17 zoning code and received 7 responsive and responsible proposals. Town Planning and Urban Design Collaborative LLC was deemed as the highest qualified.
Mr. Mayor, I have some questions.
Yes.
Mayor, council members, Becky Babb, Planning Manager.
Hi, Becky.
Hi.
this is a big deal.
This is a very, very big
There's a
deal.
lot included in this.
Yes.
Do
This
you
is
mind, yeah, I'm sorry, but do you mind just explaining the scope of this project?
not at all. So when we redid our comprehensive plan, one of the main components that we identified is that our zoning code is not only extraordinarily out of date, but it's been patched and repatched so many times that it is really difficult in a lot of ways for staff to enforce, to interpret. We often will have to make adjustments through the years as different things happen, whether those are like the preemptive legislature from the state this year, or we identify something that's new that we need to address, like wireless communication facilities a few years ago. And so one of the main things that we were looking at doing is updating that entire zoning code. It's a very, very large task. Your agenda tonight, I think, demonstrates how busy our office currently is. We have neither the staff nor the capacity to really manage this exclusively by ourselves. We also really wanted to elicit some expertise related to character-based or form-based code, which is a type of code that goes away from a very simple Euclidean, it's this or nothing, and shifts to a more, each area will have a unique character or style or block that's more fitting to their neighborhood, and the zone is designed to match that character, essentially. And so this year, as we were doing our budget process, included this as an item in our budget that we wanted to fund, and procured the RFP to solicit the services. We received 7 proposals, which is quite a lot. We did advertise both at the state planning level and the national planning level for consultants to assist us. Ultimately, we interviewed 2 and would like to award, with your approval, to the Town Planning and Urban Design Collaborative, which is a very, very successful firm that essentially wrote the book on form-based code. And so will really provide that level of expertise that we need to shift from one type of code fully into another.
Thank you. Just from the outset, I'll just state, I think what I'm wary of is it's more than just updating our zoning. This is really, I would say, a complete change in philosophy from how our zoning is currently. Would you disagree with that?
No, it absolutely is a full shift from a very specific legal type Euclidean code to a very graphic-based, design-based code that will address the character of our community it's a progressive type of code, and will really identify lots of places in our community that are unique.
So one of my questions there was an addendum to the RFP with some questions from those that submitted.
Okay.
Several questions were asking if we were open to alternatives to a form-based approach, if we were committed to fully utilizing a smart code framework. One of our responses was that we were open to like a hybrid approach, but it had to be a smart code format. I don't know what a smart code format is. Do you mind explaining that?
No, not at all. Smart code is that more graphic design-based, character-based. The form and type of each area will dictate what the zoning is. So say you have an area like the Alameda neighborhood. Originally part of the Alameda town site, those lots are very narrow and very long. So then compare that to the types of subdivisions that we get now in, say, north of the Satterfield area. Those lots are very large, they are on cul-de-sacs. So those 2 areas would have different setbacks. They would have different depths for the standard lots. They'd have different, if you have accessory structures in the Alameda neighborhood, you often don't have very much room to meet a side yard setback. You don't have 10 feet. In some of these other neighborhoods, say south of town in the Johnny Creek area, you have much larger lots. Those are very different styles. A question that Councilwoman Swanson had asked had been about architectural styling. This will look at that sort of in a way, it won't say prohibit mid-century modern, but it will say, here's the type of development that we have in that area, and here's how we'd like that to continue. So it is a very large shift, which is also why we wanted some assistance with that. Shifting from a chart with a graph if you're this, it's this and nothing else.
Okay. How much, I don't remember council ever really, like, I don't remember much discussion before this RFP was ever put out about us pursuing this change. I know I've heard in conversations, so we're going to rewrite Code 17. I believe back in April, we had a work session where we talked about the comprehensive plan, and you mentioned there that we were going to rewrite Title 17, but I guess I'm concerned that this is, this RFP really feels like this is a policy decision. And I'm concerned that council wasn't given the opportunity to really weigh in on what is a major policy change of the city.
Yeah, it is one of the main goals of the Comprehensive Plan 2040. So in that case, that's really when essentially that was discussed, is moving forward with a more character-based, form-based code as part of the Comp Plan 2040, Our Valley, Our Vision.
Okay. And I don't want to make us stay here longer than we have to, so I'll move along.
I'll stay here as long as you'd like.
We're fine.
We could go a long time. I do want to ask about, there's mention of a steering committee
Yes.
in this process.
Yes.
Who's going to be a part of that steering committee? Do we already have an idea?
We don't
And-
have,
I'm sorry, and how is council going to be involved in this process moving forward?
absolutely, sorry
Yeah,
to
okay.
interrupt your question. We have not set the steering committee yet. Likely, the way that the steering committee will work, it will be very small so that we don't have, if you have too many decision makers at the table, it gets to be very difficult. But the engagement process will be very, very large and broad and take quite a bit of time. That's why this particular process is likely going to take the full 18 months of their schedule. The steering committee, I think, has the potential to have a council member on it. I would be a little wary with legal counsel of how many council people we would put on that steering committee, just to be very cautious regarding open meeting laws, and potentially a member of the Planning and Zoning Committee. And then we would have community committees, we'll have stakeholder groups. The consultant will be here for several days as they host what they call a Code-a-Palooza, so that they are here, have an office where they do a lot of engagement with the community, and that will include daily meetings with every stakeholder group we can think of, as well as time for walk-ins and public meetings as well. So I'm happy to take your direction on how you'd like that steering committee to look. My only request would be that it not be more than 5 to 8 people, because then it gets to be really difficult to manage decision-making.
Totally understood. I just, you know, this isn't accusatory, but I do feel like council has been, probably not purposely, but we've been circumvented, in my opinion, a little bit through this process. So I would at least say I think council needs to be involved in that steering committee, where this is a legislative function. This is policy of the city.
And it will have to come before you in multiple stages throughout the process for your review.
There was just a couple things in the RFP, or one thing I really wanted to ask about, task 5 deliverables. There is a financial feasibility assessment, and I just wondered, I wasn't sure what that was, if you could give me a little
Yeah.
defining of that.
I think that's primarily the cost of us enforcing. How far into the weeds do we want to get? And that is just, it's primarily a staff cost and a code enforcement cost, long-term. The cost of the Title 17 rewrite is included in the proposal. And I know that you have a question about that cost and some of the hourly charges versus the overall scope, so I'll let you ask those as well.
Okay, yeah. Real quick, just before that, just my general concern with this, I'm worried about how moving to this style of code, I mean, a use-based code, Euclidean code, we've used forever,
Yes.
essentially. So this is for developers, for home builders, entrepreneurs in town. This is a completely new approach. So will this consultant work through, and is part of the scope of this project, making sure that we're not going to hinder development and make it harder to develop.
Absolutely. So this particular consultant, they have, one of the primary partners wrote the book on smart code. He is an expert in code writing itself, and the remaining members of that firm really are very development friendly. Ultimately, the goal here is to make our code accessible, understandable, easy for people to utilize. There will be a lot of graphic design and pictures included where this is essentially what we're looking for. It's in a lot of ways meant to make those things simpler and very obvious upfront what it will take to do anything related to property development on your property.
Okay.
So yes, they also, we did ask them to include some hourly rates at the end of this contract, because through the process, we will all be learning about the changes that we're making, what we're looking to ultimately achieve with the code, the directions that we want to go, and therefore we'll need some guidance afterwards, after implementation. And just being unaware at this point of what that could look like, we asked them to include an hourly rate so that in a future budget cycle, if we still feel like we could use their services, that we could extend that contract to include those hourly rates so that we can get the training that we need to make sure we're implementing it correctly.
Okay. And I'm sorry if anybody else has questions, but I wanted to ask about, you mentioned the hourly rate. So it has a fee not to exceed $199,995, but then it also says plus hourly tasks or hourly rate, which I believe I saw can be up to like over $300 an hour. So hourly rate for tasks 6.2 and 7.3. I think 7.3 was like 6 months of implementation. Is there any control in this contract on those costs?
Well, their hourly rates are part of their scope. And so the control will be how much we utilize them afterwards. It is somewhat unknown. It would all have to be approved at a future budget cycle because it's part of our professional services line item budget. And so it would definitely, if we don't have that funding available to us, we won't be able to use it. We did ask them to include that so that if we get to the end of this process and we still feel like we need some time with them to understand, say something very obscure comes up and we really want to understand and get their opinion on how we should process a certain type of application, that we would have that potential. That could certainly be controlled just by how many hours that we use, and would definitely be part of our budget ask, likely next budget cycle, so that we would know exactly what our budget was relating to professional services and how much time we would have available to use. And we'll know better at that time how much we'll need it. I think we'll have so much training through the process that we should be well set. It's just impossible to anticipate how, we call them squirrels in our office. Something will come up that is just a little bit unique, and how would we apply that, and having the option to get that professional opinion is part of that.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to interject and ask a couple of questions of Councilmember Bates. I understand your concerns. I'm looking at my notes, and we've been talking about this rewrite since 2024. And so a lot of the council members weren't on the council back then. And so my question is there a process or something that you would like to take, or an extended period that you'd like to have this represented or rediscussed before we move into that? Or
I think part of it, it should be a process change moving forward. I don't think an RFP of this, what's the right word? Impact, size, it's not simply the cost of it. This is a major change. This is not just updating outdated code. This is totally changing our philosophy of how we're going to zone the city moving forward. And I'm not saying I'm against that, but I think before an RFP of this complexity is put out, council should see it and and express permission for it to go forward. I haven't had time to really go through the RFP completely. One thing that I think would be beneficial in the future is when we have a contract come forward that was part of an RFP, I think the RFP should be included in the packet. I had to go find the RFP on our bid page on the website. But one question I have about that, Becky, it says in the RFP that this RFP, as well as the successful respondent's proposal, will become part of the contract. Is that true, or is what's only in the packet the contract?
I think those are appendixes to the contract, and likely should have been included in the attachments that we submitted to Connie for publication.
Yeah, and I mean, no blame here. I just think it'd be beneficial to make sure we have all of it. There's just one contract question I had, and I think this was probably for Jared. I thought it was something that it just raised some questions for me, and that is in section L.1, miscellaneous provisions. And I'm sure this is mostly a boilerplate agreement that they use with everybody, but it says this agreement shall be governed by the law of the state of Tennessee and the United States of America, which is where they're located. But I had some questions about if that's appropriate as an Idaho municipality to have a contract that's governed by state of Tennessee law, and if that's something we should amend.
So those provisions are found in most contracts we do, and we almost universally suggest as an edit that it be changed to the state of Idaho.
Okay.
I wasn't the one that reviewed this, but usually what happens is we suggest that edit. If they fight us on it, we have Idaho code that allows the venue to be in the municipality because we are a governmental entity. I don't know if that happened in this case, but we can certainly pursue that edit before this is executed by the mayor if the council is willing to approve it. But that's a great catch. We universally at least attempt to change that to Idaho, so there's no ambiguity in that clause right there.
Yeah, okay. And again, I'll vote in favor of the contract. I have some concerns about costs getting out of hand, but I trust staff to help us keep those in check. I think this isn't the first time that something like this I feel like has come up, but it's the time I feel like I'm ready to address it. But sometimes RFPs get put out that are really impactful, and I just feel like council should really express consent to all the language of the RFP before it gets out. I understand we have the ability to say no tonight. We have ultimate control over it, but it would make more sense for us to be more involved at the beginning of the RFP than at the very end.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a point well taken. And on future agendas, I can certainly check on that. It is true, there's a lot of language in the RFP, and when it's a fundamental change on how we're looking at something like Title 17. So I think point well taken. I think, moving forward, having the RFP, they are pretty powerful there, and they're guiding things a certain way that maybe should be a little bit more legislative.
Yeah.
And so, but with that, I don't, like on the current with the table, Councilman Bates, if we want more time and, defer the approval to a future agenda, we could do that, or.
May I ask a clarifying question just about the RFPs? Because we have brought this to work session, our zoning code rewrite, and we also brought it up in budget hearings, and we also brought it up in the comp plan. And so is your request that we bring the actual RFP document to council to review before we publish it?
That would be my request, because to me, this is the actual policy. Like, we can talk somewhat, and I feel like oftentimes it is kind of in generalities when we talk in work sessions. And, the comprehensive plan, I completely understand, but my personal opinion, the comp plan's not the Bible.
Yeah.
And, it's open to change to what we feel we want to pursue. So to me, what is the actual policy? Well, it's what's in the RFP and what people are going to respond to. And so, like, I do have real concerns about the change we're making, and I just want to make sure that so I feel like it would have been easier to address some of my concerns and maybe get more information
before it was published.
before it was published, yeah, so.
Mayor, may I follow up with a
Yes.
question to the mayor and council? I think maybe one of Becky's concerns and staff's concerns, quite honestly, is knowing what RFPs you would like brought before you before the RFP is published versus what ones you don't want. And it's really hard to create that bright line rule, and it's hard for staff to understand that. Is that something you want to give the mayor the discretion over, or how would you like to proceed? Because as a procedural standpoint, that's going to be a question that comes up regularly.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of RFPs that go out.
Understood, and I think that's completely fair, and I think we have to take I should take responsibility, and that when we talked about this back in April, I, with some foresight, should have thought, hey, this is a major RFP we're gonna put out. We should look at that before we put it out. And so I completely understand, we don't need to look at every single RFQ and RFP that goes out. But yeah, there's big ones that obviously I think we need to look at, and I would leave that up to mayor's discretion as well.
Yeah, and I think I get that, you know, like, because when we say every RFP, I probably have the public works staff over there like going, oh, I'm cringing.
I want to see every single one.
But yeah, monumental things like city hall relocation studies and major zoning code changes. I think I get the direction, and, you know, if I could comb that through for sure, you know, screen that through. But yeah, you're right, every RFP, that's going to be an ordeal. We do have a staff that does a lot of the work, and we need to take the big picture. And on some of them, they are.
Yeah,
We
well,
need
and
to see.
no disrespect, obviously. Like, I understand the immense amount of work that goes into putting this together. I just have, I have great reverence for the fact that we, as elected officials, we are ultimately responsible for the policy and the legislative work of the city, and I just want to make sure we are a part of that process fully, so.
Okay. Thanks,
So
good discussion.
I can make a motion, so we
Okay.
can move on. I would move that we accept the contract award for Title 17 read-write outlined in agenda item number 17. Oh, geez, I'm butchering this. Authorize mayor's signature on all pertinent documents subject to legal department review. So accept A, the highest rated proposal, and B, authorize a contract between the city of Pocatello and Town Planning and Urban Design Collaborative LLC.
Second.
All right, thank you. We have a first from Councilman Bates, the second from Councilman Mangum. Brianna, please call the roll.
Bates?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Swanson? Yes.
Agenda item 18, proposal acceptance contract award for wildfire analysis and assessment, DUDEC. Council may wish to approve the following requests for the wildfire analysis and assessment project and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents, subject to legal department review. C, accept the highest rated proposal for the wildfire analysis and assessment RFP to DUDEC, and if approved, D, authorize a contract between the city of Pocatello and DUDEC in the amount of $54,980 for the wildfire analysis and assessment. The city of Pocatello conducted a request for proposals for the completion of a wildfire analysis and assessment of the evaluation committee recommended DUDEC as the highest rated proposal. The project will be funded through the Community Wildfire Defense Grant awarded to the city.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'm not suggesting I make a motion, because that's what I know will probably happen next. But can we, for clarification of the record, agree that C and D should probably read A and B?
So, that sounded weird when I
So
went
that,
through it.
so that there's no misconception that there is a missing A and B.
Yeah, so correct the agenda to say rather than C, A, and then rather than D, B. Thank you,
Mr. Mayor.
Jared.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I move to approve agenda item number 18, proposal acceptance and the contract award for wildfire analysis and assessment for DUDEC.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, we have a second from Councilwoman Swanson. Or I'm sorry, a first from Councilwoman Swanson, a second from Councilwoman Satterfield. Brianna, please call the roll.
Swanson? Yes.
Satterfield? Yes. Bates?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Agenda item 19, bid acceptance, contract award for Upper City Creek parking lot grading, Pro Builders, Inc. Council may wish to approve the following request for the Upper City Creek parking lot grading project and authorize the mayor's signature on all pertinent documents, subject to the legal department's review. A, accept the low bid received from Pro Builders, Inc. in the amount of $66,809, and if approved, B, authorize a contract between the City of Pocatello and Pro Builders, Inc. in the amount of $66,808 for the Upper City Creek parking lot grading project, and authorize change orders up to 10% of the total contract. Funding of the project has been provided through the Idaho Department of Parks and Recreation Trails Program Grant.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I move we accept agenda item number 19, bid and contract award for the Upper City Creek parking lot grading for Pro Builders as outlined in 19.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We have a first from Councilwoman Swanson, a second from Councilwoman Satterfield. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Swanson?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Okay, agenda item 20, change order number 2, 429 Washington Avenue, Environmental Hazard Assessment and Interior Demolition, Safe Tech, Inc. Council may wish to approve a change order number 2 in the amount of $3,455.63 for the environmental hazard abatement and interior demolition of the city-owned property at 429 Washington Avenue, which is the site of the former Alameda Fire Station, City of Alameda, and authorize the mayor's signature on all applicable documents, subject to legal department review. The proposed change order covers additional services beyond the original contracted scope of work and 10% change order authorization. Funding for the project is available in the Building Abatement Fund. Council, how do you wish to proceed?
Mayor,
Yes.
I move to approve agenda item 20 as outlined.
Thank
Second.
you. Thank you. We have a first from Councilman Paulson, second from Councilwoman Swanson. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Paulson?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Satterfield? Yes.
Agenda item 21, PVC pipe materials bid for the Water Department. Council may wish to award the bid for polyvinyl chloride pipe to the lowest responsive bidder, H.D. Fowler, in the amount of $138,015, and authorize the mayor's signature on all applicable documents, subject to the legal department review. Funding for the purchase is available in the Water Department fiscal year 2026 budget. Would we like a staff presentation, or if not, I'd entertain a
Mayor.
motion. Yes.
I would move to approve agenda item 21, PVC pipe material bid for the water department as outlined in agenda item 21.
Second.
Thank you. We have a first from Councilman Mangum, a second from Councilman Paulson. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Mangum?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Agenda item 22, resolution fiscal year 2027 departmental fees. Council may wish to adopt a resolution with exhibits A through Y, and I won't read each one of them, setting fees for the fiscal year 2027, October 1, 26 through September 30th, 2027. The exhibits are enclosed.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would move that we adopt a resolution fiscal year 2027 departmental fees, sections A through Y, setting financial or fiscal 2027 October 1st, 2026 through September 30th, 2027, as exhibited in agenda item 22.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. We have a first from Councilman Mangum, second from Councilwoman Satterfield. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Mangum?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Agenda item 23, resolution for fiscal year 2027 foregone levy. Council may wish to adopt a resolution certifying the levy of foregone taxes for use in fiscal year 2027 in accordance with Idaho Code 63-802.
Mr. Mayor,
Okay, I think I heard Swanson on the left first.
So could I have Rich come up, please?
Yes.
Rich Morgan, Finance Department.
I'd like you to explain for the public again what a levy of foregone tax means.
So at some point in the past, councils have had the ability to budget that they have not taken the advantage of. And state law allows us to track that and in the future, use it if needed. And that is what's happening tonight. We're using 1%. The total foregone for the city of Pocatello is over 5 million, and we will be using about 350. It's a little over 350,000 of that in this fiscal year 27 budget.
And that 1% is what the state legislature sets that we're allowed to use.
That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would move to adopt a resolution certifying the levy of foregone taxes for the use in fiscal year 2027 according to Idaho Code 63-802.
Second.
Okay, we have a first from Councilman Mangum, a second from Councilwoman Swanson. Aubriana, please call the roll.
Mangum?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Agenda item 24, ordinance. The council has the following options for reading ordinances. If the council makes no motion, the ordinance will be read on 3 different days, 2 readings of which may be by title only, and 1 reading of which shall be placed in full, placed on final passage for publication. An ordinance approving fiscal year 2027 appropriation is what we're looking at.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I would move that the ordinance agenda item 24 be read only by title and placed on final passage for publication, and that the entire ordinance be submitted for publication.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We have a first from Councilman Mangum, a second from Councilman Paulson.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Just a clarification for the public. This is the vote to affirm the adoption of our fiscal year 2027 budget.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Aubriana, if you'd please call the roll.
Mangum?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
Okay, and I'll ask Jared to read the ordinance at this time.
An ordinance of the City of Pocatello, a municipal corporation of Idaho, appropriating $186,698,374 for the 2027 fiscal year to defray all necessary expenses and liabilities of the city, providing for the objects and purposes for which such appropriations are made and the amount appropriated for each object or purpose, levying ad valorem taxes in the amount of $37,527,019 for the fiscal year beginning the first day of October 2026 and ending the 30th day of September 2027 upon all taxable property within the city of Pocatello, to provide revenue to pay current general, street, liability insurance, recreation, cemetery, airport, public library, and to pay interest and principal on general obligation bonds of the city of Pocatello, providing that a certified copy of this ordinance shall be filed with the county commissioners of Bannock County, Idaho, Power County, Idaho, and with the Secretary of State of the state of Idaho, providing for this ordinance to take effect upon its passage, approval, and publication according to law.
I declare that to be the final reading of the ordinance. Shall the ordinance pass?
Bates?
Yes.
Mangum?
Yes.
Paulson?
Yes.
Satterfield?
Yes.
Swanson?
Yes.
All right, that concludes our meeting. We are adjourned. Thank you.